Hello, everyone, and welcome to the new season of the Purposeful Life Show with your host, Adrian Starks. I'm excited to share some new updates of the show with you, starting with a new look, sound, and energy, as well as a variety of guests coming aboard with intriguing topics of conversation. I hope you enjoy the new level of energy that will be brought to the show. Thank you for all of your support since the very beginning in 2019. Wow, it's been 3 years already? Because of you, the Purposeful Life Show is now in the top 5% of all podcasts globally, and we aim to get it into the top 1%. Continue listening to the show and share it with others. You can also now listen to the show on my Facebook page at Adrian Starks, where you can comment in real time and communicate with me about your aha moments. Thank you again for all of your support, and let's make this one hell of a year and be purposeful about doing that. Wishing you all much love and success. Hi, my name is Adrian Starks, and welcome to the Purposeful Life Show on the Champion Up podcast. This podcast is for the courageous creators wanting to create a life of meaning, adventure, and fulfillment, all while helping to make the world a better place. I'm happy you're here, and if you're new to our show, make sure to give us that 5-star rating and subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes. Also, connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at Champion Up. It is always that one idea that could be your breakthrough. It's time to step into your courage and believe the champion in you. Well, hello, champions around the world. Welcome to another episode on the Purposeful Life Show and the Champion Up podcast. My name is Adrian Starks, and I'm your host, and I'm so happy to have you here. Make sure that you go to the App Store and type in Champion Up so you can get that Champion Up app with powerful information. Also, make sure you give us a 5-star rating on the show and subscribe so that you can be on the lookout for more content coming weekly. Today's episode is so exciting because we're going to be talking about connecting in a world of disconnection. And I know a lot of us feel disconnected. We have a specialist on the show, and his name is Rnold Smith, and he has found a way to help us get connected in all this chaos that's going on. Rnold, are you there? And can you say hi to our guest today?
Hey, Adrian. Hey, everybody. I'm here.
Hey, Rnold, and we're glad to have you here. And Rnold is an entrepreneur, speaker, writer, and consultant who specializes in behavior transformation. As an entrepreneur, he likes to focus on solving complex problems and simple solutions. His latest project, the Connection app, aims to help busy people stay emotionally connected despite the often unreasonable demands that modern society places on us. The connection habits are the result of years of research and testing, and he has developed a program and app to help people integrate them into their lives. Although he has had over 20 years of experience helping businesses grow, his happy marriage and 2 daughters are his greatest source of pride. His TED Talk is called Unlocking Unpredictable Results and is about why people are their own worst enemy and what to do about it. Rnold, welcome to our show today, and thank you so much for giving us some presence about connecting in a world of disconnection.
It's my pleasure, Adrian. Thanks for having me.
We're happy to have you here. And Rnold, for our audience here, can you share a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So I'm the president and chief visionary for a company called Connection Apps, Inc. We are a company that develops apps that are designed to help people transform their habits. At the end of the day, if we want different results in our lives, then we really need to do something, change something that we do daily. Mm-hmm. And so much of what we do is basically an automated response to the stimulus in our lives. If we don't have habits that support the results we want, we simply won't get them.
Ooh. So if we don't have habits that don't support the results we want, we simply won't get them. And many people do this. They have the habits that are just opposite of what they're really wanting to experience in life. And so you have found a way to help them stay on track with that.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. All right. So that's powerful information right there for me, just alone. So what inspired you to want to do this kind of work with connection? I mean, connecting people. I mean, it seems like such a big task.
Yeah, I think it is. It's a bit of a long story. It probably started when I was 9. Mm-hmm. So when I was 9, my father took his own life, and so that was obviously a devastating event for me as a young person. And it really, woke me up to that, there's some stuff in the world that ain't so good, to turn a phrase there. But, since then, I was kind of different than my peers in the sense that I wasn't as interested in games and playing. And what I saw was, what was really important was the people in your life. So I guess I took that with me in my life and really saw that without those people, without those connections, that was what was really important. And when you lose that, it is the most difficult thing. And often what I saw with myself and with others is that it's so easy for us to put that on the back burner and not make people our priority.
So true.
And what that creates is the possibility for regret. And, my mom passed away when I was 17. And I promised myself that I would, change how I was so that I wouldn't have regret when the people I cared about passed away. But it didn't, that promise didn't stick, even with all that, all that impetus, all that motivation. My uncle passed away and I didn't reach out to them, and my aunt passed away, and I luckily I came and I saw her on, I hadn't visited her for years, and I went to visit her, a week before she passed away and at least connected with her. And so I felt good about that. But when you lose someone, you can't go back in time and do the things that you wish that you did.
I agree.
And so, it's really important. But in regular life, it just doesn't feel that way.
It's true.
You get up in the morning and there's like phone calls and kids running around and to-do lists, and you go through your day and it's so busy and you go like, whoa. And then the next day, the same
You're being
thing.
pulled in different. You're being pulled in different directions. That I so understand that, and I'm pretty sure our audience listening today, they understand that as well, because this whole world's based on being busy. Like you were saying here, and I read your a little bit of your history here. You aim to help busy people stay emotionally connected. So if that's the case, what are some steps our audience can take to build their connection more with themselves or family?
So yeah, well, when you talk about habit formation, I mean, changing your habits is actually really complex. It's one of the hardest things for people to do because it's so automatic. And the very first step is actually just to become aware.
Become aware.
And without that awareness, it's really difficult to take action. And anytime you want to make a change, the first step is to become aware. And the thing about our habits is that they are unconscious, which means that the trigger, the behavior, the routine, that all happens without any effort on your part whatsoever. There'll be an external stimulus. You come home from work, and then you will see the TV or the couch, and you plunk down on the couch and you reach for the remote and you turn on the TV, and that is automatic. You just do that. There's no conscious choice involved. And then before you know it, 3 hours have gone by watching TV, and you haven't connected with your wife or your kids in a meaningful way because it just happens. And so the very first step is to understand what triggers that behavior. And when you can see your triggers, then you can start to make a different choice. But until you become aware of what is triggering your behaviors or habits, you can't make the conscious choice to do something different.
So they should be aware, or we should all be aware of the distractions that's causing us not to be able to pay attention to those things that we should be paying more attention to.
Yeah, and it's really easy to find those triggers, or a way to find those triggers. It's not always easy. Is to look where you are unhappy, uncomfortable, frustrated, and see where there's habits that are not supporting the results you want.
Got it.
I mean, you can operate in two different ways, Adrian. You can look at life, say life is happening to me and I'm a victim of life. And
which many people do.
robs you of, and we all do, like at different times. We feel like I can't do anything about this. But the very first habit you want to get into is understanding that you have the power to change anything in your life. Now, I'm not talking about world events like nuclear war, because that's, that's
a
kind of
bit
dark.
ambitious. Yep.
Yeah, it's a bit ambitious. But I'm just talking about, in your life, the things that you're frustrated with, you do have the power to make changes. And so the first habit to get into is really telling yourself, I have the power to make a change. Understand where that frustration is, and then see what is the behavior that's leading to, or what you can do to change that result in your life.
Okay.
And so then now you've got the habits that are leading to that result. And now that you know the habits, now you need to start noticing what triggers that response.
So basically it comes down to a person they need to do more self-reflection and paying attention to themselves. This self-examination process of being aware of what's actually going on.
It's the very first step.
The very first step. So to everyone listening, the very first step is being aware. And you're not going to be aware by going around and just being distracted by things, being a reactor to society, because that's what most people do, as Rnold just mentioned. Because when you're coming home and you're watching TV or you're doing something else, you're pulling yourself away from something that really is meaningful to you. And this is why Rnold has created this amazing app called the Connection app, which I've had an opportunity to use, and it really helped spark my life, because I was neglecting some things and I was able to see and track that. And this is so interesting about this app. And Rnold, where were you when the idea of the Connection app came to you?
I'm going to get back to that in just 1 second. I just want to say there's a hidden first step to changing your habits, and that's you have to believe it's possible.
Yes, believe it's possible.
And it's a hidden first step, because most of us believe that we think it's possible. Mm-hmm. And so, anyway, I had to go.
No,
go
I like
back to
that. That's important. So,
oftentimes that's the step that people.
The hidden first step is believe it's possible.
It was 2005, and I was just getting married, and I had this idea to create something. I was so happy, my relationship was making me so happy, and so many of my, and ask people, how's your relationship going? And they say, it's good. It's okay. It's going good. And I could sense that it was like, it wasn't like me. I felt so filled up by my relationship. And I was like, what if we did? So I started creating something called the Honeymoon Project. And I was like encouraging, and I was like targeting guys. I was like, guys, we can do this. And I was asking them to do the things that like make them feel like they're on their honeymoon. So like, what are the actions? Mm-hmm. And I failed miserably. I tried to make it. I got a couple, about a dozen guys doing a few things, but I just, at the time, I didn't really know how to do it. I didn't know how to get people to take action. So that desire to make that difference never went away. And so as I go through my career and I experience all these different things and I learn all these different, develop myself, this idea sticks with me. I want to help people feel more connected. Like that connection is so important. And so, really that's been thinking about it for years. And, even, and then about 4 years ago, I started doing some work around another program I was going to create called Make One Change. And the idea was that if you could teach people how to make one change, then they could make changes in every area of their life. And it was a great idea. And again, it was a terrible execution. I put together like a bunch of different applications and I tried to make a go of it. And I didn't quite make it happen. So with those two experiences in mind, those two failures, if you will, I smushed them together. And I thought, okay, this time I want to do it right. This time I want to build the platform that I really want to build. And I want to have all this stuff that I learned about what prevents people from changes and what supports people to change, and all the study that I've done around like what really makes relationships just thrive, what makes people connected. And I thought, if we can put those two things together and create a platform that really helps people to implement those habits, then they'll have more connection in their life. And, really the goal is that more people experience love and joy every day, and that the people that you care about always feel loved and appreciated.
And this is why you are a courageous creator and you're on the show, because for our audience listening today, I know that you're reflecting right now about connecting more in your life. Rnold just mentioned he had 2 projects that he started with passion. He went all out for it. It didn't work, but he didn't stop because his mission, his objective was to bring people closer together. And so he brought those 2 projects, what he learned from them, the failure of those 2 projects, he brought them together to create something much stronger. So if you're looking for a way to change your life, as Rnold is trying to help you do with this connection research he's been doing for years, understand that we learn by being aware of our mistakes, just like Rnold did with his business. That's the first step he mentioned earlier about being aware of your habits. What are you doing? What's going on in your day? Why are you being distracted? Why do you feel this way? That first step, awareness. And that's how Rnold was able to come forward and build this spectacular business and this wonderful connection app. And speaking of first steps, Rnold, can you share with our audience today a second step that they could start to do with building better connection?
Yeah. So if we talk about the connection habits, there's practicing gratitude, which is telling people who they are and how they do things impacts your life, and then thanking them for that. And oftentimes we'll say thank you for the things that people do, but we'll fail to really recognize them for who they are.
Yes, for
and
who they are.
how that impacts your life. And just that, so being present to gratitude, there's tons of research out there how important that is for your mental and physical well-being. And this kind of takes it a step further, because you actually get to not only have gratitude for yourself, is that you actually get to create gratitude in another person. So you're having this healing moment of connection where you both get to experience that moment of positivity.
I love that.
Another one of the connection habits is encouraging. So often in a relationship, we fall into the habit of making suggestions. Someone will share something and we'll say, oh, you should try this, or, maybe you should try this, or how about this? And it's an automatic response. But making suggestions is actually subtly criticizing the person and making them feel like they need your help. And so it's really easy for us to fall into that. And, that criticism is not constructive unless someone asks for it. Then it's advice. So unless someone is asking you for your opinion or your suggestions, it is criticism.
See, and that's where a lot of people get that confused. They think that if they suggest, they're being helpful. And the reality is they're not. They're actually criticizing. And you're saying that they should encourage instead.
Yeah. And it's oftentimes when we're close to people, the person who is hearing that will turn it around and say, that's an act of love. That's just the way they are. But it takes something from the listener to turn that around. I mean, think about Tom Brady, one of the most successful quarterbacks
Legend.
of all time. And how many coaches does he have, and how many fans and cheerleaders? So this is one of the most successful people in the world. He has maybe 1, maybe 2 coaches. But he has thousands or millions of fans and cheerleaders encouraging him. And in our personal lives, we often have it the exact opposite. We have dozens of people who are coaching us or criticizing us, and very few fans and cheerleaders. And so the connection habit of encouragement really makes a powerful difference. It says, I believe in you and I think you can do it. And when you have that as a habit in your relationships, it really has a powerful impact, not just on you, but on the people you're doing that with. And that's kind of the goal. It's like it's a 2-for-1 deal by practicing these connection habits, because not only do you get to experience that positivity, they get to experience it too. And you never know when that that I believe in you is going to make all the difference, because we don't know what people are dealing
We
with.
truly don't.
We don't know their inner life. So it's really important to express that positivity when you.
This is powerful information here, Arnold, and this is why you're an expert in your field. And we're not going to give away any more habits today, because I want you all listening to this to get this powerful app and to find ways of improving your connection. Now, we're going to recap here about the 3 connection habits that Arnold has shared with us today. The first was, being aware of what you're doing, being aware of what's distracting you. The second step is gratitude. What are you grateful for? There's a lot of things to be grateful for right now. Just because things may not be going your way doesn't mean you can't be grateful. And the third step,
and specifically gratitude towards people. So for people.
Gratitude, I'll rephrase that. Gratitude towards people. Being grateful for them and what they're doing, and not expecting anything, but being grateful. Yeah. The third one that Arnold just mentioned was the power of encouragement. And this one really struck me, Arnold. I'm happy you shared this today, because I thought suggesting things at times, meaning that you're meaning well, you're giving it advice. But what you're saying is that unless they ask for it, it's not advice. It's somewhat criticism that we're giving them. And it's important because it's not what we say, it's what people hear that truly matters, what the other person's receiving. So think about, are you encouraging or are you suggesting? Because there's a big difference there. And that could be part of disconnecting from a spouse, from a relative, from a friend, from a coworker. Think about that. Are you encouraging or are you suggesting? And this has been so amazing here, Arnold, to share this experience with you. And I want to know, for our audience here, how can people get in contact with you and to learn more about what you're doing of connecting people here across the world?
Sure. Well, my website is theconnectionapp.com. You can reach out to me there. Of course, you can download the app and reach out through the app, both in the App Store and Google Play. And I look forward to working with everybody and really making.
You are making a difference. As I mentioned before, I've had an opportunity to use this app, and it's wonderful. And one of the key tools I love in the app, there's a point system. So if you guys are like me and you like being rewarded, you like points and things of that sort, it's amazing, because when you do a lesson or if you do this habit and you take notes and you do all that is required, because we have to do that in order to learn, you get points. And this was absolutely fun for me, and it helped me improve in so many areas of my life. And so connection is so important in today's society, and Arnold has figured out a way to help people connect even in the midst of distraction. And you may be thinking, well, I don't need another thing on my plate to learn how to do, but this is very valuable to you, because this impacts how you feel about yourself, how you feel about the people around you, and the world that you're interacting with. Is connection. And I believe right now they're saying, if I'm correct, Arnold, you can correct me on this, that loneliness is an epidemic right now going on around the world.
Yeah, many places. For example, in the UK, they've appointed a minister of loneliness. Wow. Up to 30% of people report being lonely most of the time. And there's a recent study that came out that said that loneliness or lack of human connection has the same impact on mortality as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Wow. So it is not just for your mental health, but actually for your physical health.
Interesting. Wow.
And hey, Adrian, I just want to say also, when you use the app and you rate and you practice the habits and you do your ratings, you actually also earn entries to win prizes. And so each quarter we give away a vacation it's just one of the ways that we incentivize tracking your practice, so you can actually develop that behavior. And all the habits are designed not like you have to do a whole big thing more, that integrate into your day, so that the people in your life always feel that love. And
excellent. I'm glad you added that in there, because I can always use some good trips amongst everyone else, right? And so that's the power of having this app. You get rewarded for participating and improving your life. How amazing is that? And this is something that really will just take you to the next level of communication with people in your environment. So think about those 3 habits we talked about today. And to really get this app, go to the store, type in the Connection app, get it downloaded, and begin to work on these exercises that Rnold has provided for us to do. Rnold, I'm going to provide you with a courageous creator question. And I'd love to do this with everyone on the show. The question here is, what do you think will happen if disconnection continues into a downward spiral across the world?
I don't think we can solve the challenges facing our society unless we work together.
Yes.
And the more that we feel disconnected and unwanted, the more we'll see events that are devastating. And, imagine the impact of some of the people who are committing these atrocities if they actually felt loved and appreciated. It's hard to imagine a person doing that when they feel that way. And you don't need to have it's not about your personal relationships. Doing these connection habits with strangers, with people you meet, or your acquaintances, also has an incredible impact.
And there you have it. This is why Rnold is such an expert in his field of connecting us in a world of disconnection. Once again, go and get that app. Go to the App Store, type in the Connection app, download it, share it with your friends, family, even your children. This is a great way to connect with them as well, too. And to really think about the 3 habits that we discussed today. And until then, I encourage you all to be that courageous creator in your life. This is the Purposeful Life Show and the Champion Up Podcast with myself, Adrian Starks, and thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed our podcast today, don't forget to give us that 5-star rating and subscribe to the show so you don't miss out on the powerful life-changing content on future episodes. Also, make sure to go to championup.net for even more life-changing content. Until then, I encourage you to be the courageous creator in your life.